Hello, guys. Thank you for joining in on this panel. The reason why I choose you guys to talk to you and to see how you're working with hockey analytics is that, of course, that you're all in the Swedish national teams, both with juniors, senior players, and men and women. So we got the whole spectrum. So I think that's interesting. So if I start off with Matheus, who are you?
Matheus, I worked as video coach for the last 7 years in Djurgården, J20 and SHL, in Södertälje, Hockeyallsvenskan, and in the Sweden national team, J16, 17, and 18.
Yeah, good. Okay. And then we got two guys called that have the first name is Adam. So let's say Adam Albelin. Who are you?
My name is Adam Albelin. I've been working as a video coach for the Swedish Ice Hockey Association for almost 4 years now. 3 of them being with U16 men's, and then just completed the first season with the women's national team. And before that, I worked a little bit for Tampa Bay as the assistant to the statistical analyst.
Great. And the other Adam, Almqvist, who are you?
Yes, hello. My name is Adam Almqvist. I'm based in Stockholm, work for the Swedish Ice Hockey Association as a video coach for almost 12 years. I've been with all the teams, but right now, mostly with under 20 and the senior team.
Great. So you guys, you cover most of the Swedish national teams right now, working with hockey analytics and with video, of course. Because if I look back, I've been doing this for the national teams for, I don't know, many years, and maybe 13 or something like that, and with different junior teams, and as a goalie coach. So, of course, I met you guys, and we've been able to work together off and on. So what do you say about how things have been changed the last couple of years from how you worked from the beginning as a video coach and how you work right now? Anybody?
Can start just with technology. I mean, 10 years ago, we had our own camera, and that's all we got. Right now, we have 10, 15, 20 different kind of system we can use. Mostly we have like 2 or 3 during a tournament, but it's a lot of data, it's a lot of numbers, it's a lot of video to go through. So I think the biggest change is how to decide what to look at, which numbers to use and which video to use, and how to connect them together. I mean, at first, 10 years back, as I said, it was like one system. You had the video, you had your game, that's it. So it's a lot of more data and video right now.
Yeah. Matheus, what do you think?
Yeah, when I start with the Sweden national teams, I did all the statistics out of my own tagging. So it was manually put in after the game. We didn't have the resources or any other system than my tagging, and that has development a lot to today when we have AI to work with, and much more data than we had when I started.
Yeah. Albelin?
Yeah, well, I agree with my colleagues there. In the beginning, it was just single camera, and then you had your video program, in our case, Dartfish. And as the years went on, then you have the technologies are moving forward. And then for me, it's fun to see how you can piece together all these different programs and what they do, and try to bring something new to the table and to the team that they might not have seen before. And that can help the team grow and develop.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, for me as a goalie coach, and also of course a video coach in my home team and club team, we spend so many hours during games, after games, before games, in just collecting everything. And then it's the analyze of every number or video or whatever it is for so many years. And right now, and that was the big thing to do. That was a big part of the workload, I think. And nowadays, depending on what level, of course, you work in, and we don't all have the same platforms, of course. National team-wise in Sweden, we do have pretty much the same platforms, no matter what junior team there is. Is that the right way to put it, Adam?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we mostly use Dartfish for live tagging, and for the last year we have Sportlogic as our #1 system for numbers and stats.
And that's for all the national teams?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, good. So now for me, I think it's now the problem isn't to collect the data. Now it's more about analyzing it. Who's going to do it? What? There's so much to look at, and so we have to decide what to look at.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And maybe even. Do you have any people around you when you just finished the World Championship and of course the Olympics? Did you have people around you working with it, or was it you analyzing everything?
Well, we are a coach team, so everybody has the opportunity to look at all the numbers and the video, of course. But it's my work to put it together and transform it to the coaching staff to use it. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, a couple of years back you had your video as we said, but now you have all the numbers and you need to choose which number you want to look at, and you need to ask yourself the question what, why, and how, because otherwise you just have all the numbers but you don't do anything with them, or you tell the players or the coach that the numbers are like this, but what are you as a coaching staff going to do about it? Otherwise, don't even use them if you don't know why. So that's a big thing.
And you have also the possibility to work some scouting before you go to tournament on which player you're going to choose for that tournament, whatever. Because you have the data also from SHL or other leagues, of course. Yeah.
We did a work for Olympics, you and I.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so I mean, you can compare, even though that's a national team, but you can compare like line combination where we have a Swedish centerman who's playing with a Czech Republic winger, and that's a good matchup. So we need to find a Swedish winger that look like this player to match the centerman we are picking out, so you can use the numbers that way. And that's because for Matheus and Albelin, it's more, you don't really have that in your series back home, so you can actually scout the players before the tournament, do you?
No, we can't. We have for Sportlogic, we have Hockeyallsvenskan and SHL, and our players is born 05, so someone is up and playing in that kind of league, but not everybody.
And is it the same with women's hockey, Alan?
For me this year, the challenge has been, since we switched systems, was to actually find material on, say, for instance, before we were going to the Olympics, when we switched, there was no data or games available for us for any of the teams. So we had to rely a little bit on Instat for pre-scouts and whatnot. And so we did almost everything through downloading games through Instat and then doing pre-scouts manually.
Yeah. And I guess that's the same thing for the whole, both women and junior 2018. Depending on if the guys are, or if they're up in a higher league with the men's playing, and then you can find data. But otherwise, there's other platforms, of course, and but it's not machine learned techniques. It's more like people tagging or you tag yourself watching a game, of course, of a player. So that's a mixture. That's an interesting thing because it's a mixture of how we worked a couple of years ago and what's happening today. So you still need that mixture of I think. Do what Adam, if I go back to you, working with for the Olympics, during the Olympics, did you do tagging on dartfish as you've done for years at the same time as you had the Sportlogic data?
Do we need to ask which Adam he was asking right now?
Oh, I asked you. I'm sorry about that.
Did you ask me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always do my own tagging. I think the numbers can give me like different parts of a team we are facing where they are good, but I always want to connect it with video because it doesn't matter if I understand the numbers. If the rest of the coaching staff don't understand it, we can't like give it to the players. So I need to transform it to video to make the players and the other staff understand it.
Yeah.
So I always use my own dartfish program to make that happen.
And do you work the same way, Albelin, during the Olympics?
Yeah, I mostly put everything into dartfish.
Yeah.
And usually run everything through there. And then if there's something that we feel that we're missing, we'll maybe take a look at Sportlogic and see what dots we can connect. But everything runs mainly through dartfish and manual tagging.
Yeah, I think because it's so interesting talking about these things, because usually when you get a discussion about hockey analytics and machine learning techniques and all of that, all the great tools that we have, we always talk about numbers and people are thinking about numbers. So hockey isn't just numbers. Can you really trust the data? Can you all of that? But what we're really using it for a lot, especially me as a goalie coach, but I can see the coaching staff in my team back home here, that we use it to find the clips that we're looking for.
Yeah.
So if I want to see the inner slot shots on power play, whatever it is, it's so easy and so fast to find them. And then I think you always need to look at the clips before you make a judgment of, okay, is this good or bad or whatever it is. So of course the number will give you a hint that, okay, we got 17 shots in the slot and the other team have 3. Well, they give you a hint that what was going on during this game, but still you have to watch it, I think, to get the proper, yeah.
We are working like if we talk about this in 30 years, this is old school video coaching, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's interesting. So what do you think about? We talked about history and how we've been working through the years, and what is your? If we can make a wish for something from Sportlogic or whoever it is. What are you missing today? If we start with Matheus, is there something that you're missing that you would like to hit that bottom and get it?
For me, it's a little bit different situation than for Adam and Adam, because when I work with under 18, we don't have the data live, so we have it like 12 hours after the game, and that makes everything a little bit more complicated to use the data after the game. So for me, it's more right now I can use the data and the statistics after I already have done the analysis from the video.
Yeah.
So we use it more for individual players, lines, power play, PK, and things like that, and also connect the statistics over time. But to use it for a single game is a little bit more difficult for us.
Yeah.
Yes, so for our, of course, we'll like to use it live, but that's not something anyone can develop. It's another question. So what? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to mention by you saying that, of course, when I use it in SHL, I use the numbers and I use the video between periods. When the team has gone on into the locker room before the two coaches are down there and so on, it takes a couple of minutes. And that's usually the case what it takes to get everything sorted out. So I will have the numbers and the video. But that's nothing that I know that SportLogic is not calling. They don't think they're doing it live. but of course, as it happens, when it's there, we use it, of course. So there is a delay, a couple of minutes, depending on lots of different things. We just want to mention that. So in SHL for us in Linköping, we use it in the game a lot. So yeah.
I think it's, if I should be in like a team during a season, it's easier to use the numbers. Like this is the first year for us with SportLogic, and every tournament has like a baseline with all the numbers. So they always start here, and after like 5 games, you have something to compare the numbers with. So it's hard for us to get like 30 games. Maybe next year, where we can compare it to this year, we can work in another way. But for now, I can use it for pre-scout. I can watch other teams' strength. But otherwise, it's hard to change our game because the numbers don't have like a, how do you say, like a long-term baseline or something like that.
And of course, that's a big difference. Working with a team every day when you have the guys playing the whole season and it's adding up lots of data all the time, and you can actually have lots of data playing against a certain team and so on. So you can start to use it in lots of different ways than you can, of course, because I tried now during the World Championship to like connect our numbers to our playbook. Mm-hmm.
Like, do we have the numbers we should have because of that playbook we have chosen to have? If we want to like keep the puck in our team and don't just dump it down and forecheck, we need to have a lot of possession. So I tried to compare that number to our playbook just to see if we are playing our game or playing the other team's game. That was pretty fun.
A question there, Adam Almqvist. You still work with. I know that you earlier worked with critical success factor and key performance indicators. Is this something you still work with and can connect with that kind of data that you got from SportLogic?
Yeah, I tried to do it, but I mean, that was like manual stats. I tried to take out like 10 winning factors from my own tagging and connect them to what we are going to do if the numbers are low or high, how we train, how we coach, how we do everything, just to get all that 10 winning factors green. But it's in a process to make that 10 winning factors into the SportLogic way. Which numbers should I use? And I landed right now in like 30 or 40 numbers that are important for me to take a look at. But it's a new way of video coaching for me as well.
Yeah. Albelin, do you have any wish for the future? Thinking about these things.
Well, of course, always one wish would be to get all the information faster. I know it'll be possible in the future, but right now, since the delay, I mean, it works 6-12 hours. That's fine from SportLogic. Usually our coaches don't need it until the next day. So it works fine, but it would be nice to have it as fast as possible. Yeah. And I understand that takes a lot of work too, but
yeah, that's a dream world. If one system have it all, it's like if let's say Sportlogic should have all the leagues in the world. They have a fast downloading tool, or we can get everything live all over the place. It would be great. And if they have a scouting tool, you can type in whatever you want on any player in the world. Yeah, great. But it's hard with all the rights. I mean, in SHL, it's Seymour owning the TV feed, and NHL networks are owning the NHL feed. So I guess it's hard to find a pool where one system gets it all.
Yeah.
And I don't want it. In another way, I don't want it, because then they don't have anything to compare. I mean, when two systems are doing this, they are climbing the ladder and make everything better. So that's good too.
Yeah, I think something else that I think it's changed a lot the last. It changed maybe the last year or 2 years, and for us, we in the club environment in Sweden, we in SHL, we had now had Sportlogic for 4 years, I think, and something like that, 4 or 5 years, and so from the beginning, I had people needed me to translate the numbers, but right now the coaches are so good, so it's more like, for me, I can maybe tell them something. Hey, these numbers, this can be worth looking at, or just highlight something, or I get a question, a special that requires something from me that I can put together, and the system helps me. Otherwise, they're just fine by themselves, looking at all the numbers, finding all the data, cutting all the movies, and it's such a big change, I think. And that's interesting. How is that in your environment? You don't have to mention any special coach, but overall.
That was all of 3. We didn't want to push a coach under the table here, but of course it depends on how much the other in the coaching staff used to technology, of course. Yeah. Well, they are learning every day, such as we. So it's a progress for like 10 to 15 years until everybody thinks it's fine to just sit down and take a look at the numbers and understand everything. Takes a lot of years to learn, I guess.
I think it's such a power for a coach to be able to use the system, because he can use it to find his way of thinking, or his way of how he or she sees the game, instead of asking someone else to see the game for him or her. You understand what I mean? The difference between that. So that's
absolutely,
that's really important, I think, in the future to develop that part. So we need educations always also for coaches.
And we need to educate too, because we want our work to still be there as the video coach show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
And what's happening right now, things are changing all the time. That we got new tools, even though in the different platforms that we use today, things are happening every month. There's something new that you have to reflect on and start, understand. So things are moving fast, and of course, the more companies that's involved, the more things are they're climbing the ladder, as you said. They're challenging each other with different kind of tools. So that's interesting. So hey, so what's the last? I just want to plus and minus with all of this machine learned data.
Yeah, I think we talked about the video coach role during the game, and I think for me, I follow the game and want to see the flow of the game live when I'm tagging, and that's something else than looking at numbers and then click on the number and get the clips. Then I have like a 10-second clip and taken from only that 10 seconds, but it's so much more that happens before and after just that situation that I'm looking for. Like entry. Something happens before the entry, and it can be like 2 minutes before because of a penalty, or they had a big scoring chance or something like that, and that's harder to see in the numbers. And when we click at the numbers and see a short clip, of course we can go back and see, but we still don't have the flow of the game.
So how do you solve that right now when you're a coach or video coaching?
For me, when I do the analysis after the games, it's from the video. I always go through the video, and we start with that, and then after that we combine with the data and the numbers. So my priority is to start with the video and my own tagging, and then put on next level with data and numbers to confirm more than my feelings from the game.
Albelin, well, how do you solve it?
Well, the first thing I totally agree with Matheus. You get a way better watching of like a full period or whatnot. You get a much better flow of what's actually happening in the game, so you can get a better idea and use the statistics and analytics to kind of confirm what you're seeing. We saw that a lot with the scouting before the Olympics and during the Olympics, to kind of take what we were seeing and then kind of solidify it with statistics.
That's interesting, and that's also using some kind of mixture of all the platforms and all the tools that you have. I think it's important.
Yeah, and again, I totally agree with Matheus that you like these short clips. Like it's hard to find context in what's happening before and after.
Yeah. Okay, Adam. National team.
There, Adam. I agree with the two. With the other two, I mean, for me to use all the numbers in a proper way, I need to have the pace of the game, the feeling of the game, like from watching it. If I don't have that, it's just numbers and sequences. Like Matheus said, it's 10 seconds. That can give me like a hint of what I should watch when I'm scouting another team. But when I want to look at our own numbers, I want to see the game from start to end before, just to have the feeling, to have the pace with me when I look at the numbers. So it depends on if I'm scouting or watching our own numbers, I guess.
So I mean, and I guess that's what it is. It's a tool. It's one of the tools, of course, that you have in your toolbox, and you have to be in the game at the same time as you use the numbers, and it's the mixture of everything that makes it easy also to find what you're looking for, or maybe get it confirmed from the numbers. I get this feeling. Is that true? Yes, the number says it's true or not. And if it's not, well, maybe you have to dig deeper to see, am I wrong or am I right or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a tool, and it's not the whole truth. It's part of the truth, probably. Yeah. So and then we have the whole concept of, I mean, depending of course which national team and how much people are watching and so on, and you have reporters, you have professionals around the arena that dig into numbers, asking questions, doing that. I guess for you with the World Championships and the Olympics, especially with the men's team, I think, I don't know, Albelin, you have to challenge me on that. Maybe it isn't a different, but I guess it's a different. Can you feel that, or is it?
Yeah, well, I can feel it when I watch. I don't stand in front of the camera so much. I'm a video coach. I'm behind the camera, but my coaches, my colleagues there, they can get like 10 numbers thrown in the face. Like they had hundreds passes to the slot. Why didn't you do anything about it? But that's the winning factors I told you guys about before. We have 10 numbers, and we have chosen that 10 to work with, and we know why and how and what we are using them. So that's a big I don't know, safety for the coaches when they are facing these type of questions, that they know what we are working with. They can't know like hundreds of numbers. It's impossible. But it's in the future, maybe being a head coach is something different than it is from right now.
Or being an assistant coach, maybe it's completely. Maybe it's just one guy and a lot of video coaches. yeah, interesting. What do you say, Albelin? Do you feel the same way around these things, or you're feeling that people around the games, at the Olympics and so on, have a clue about these things? Reporters and so on, are there?
I can't really speak on that because I wasn't involved with any other reporters or anything like that. So I think mainly we were just talking general stats, very basic. Nothing too in depth, at least for us and our coaching staff.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
A good thing is that everything you want is there.
Yeah.
A minus would be, for me, looking at Sportlogic website after a game or something, and we're looking for specific stats. There's so much information that sometimes you get lost in what you're looking for. And sometimes you can go down the rabbit hole and start looking at things that aren't even important. But then it's important to filter out what you need beforehand. So the information you're looking for is pretty much set for you. And I think that makes it a lot easier too. But just the fact that it's so easy to get the information. It's right at your fingertips. You just need to know where to look and how to sort, and then you should be good.
Yeah. Matheus, what do you think?
I agree with Adam Albelin in everything he says, and the big plus is the big amount of data, of course, that we have after the game. But at the same time, like Adam is talking about, we have to analyze what kind of data we want to use and put it in a perspective to our playbook, and why we are looking at the numbers we are looking at. But I think the AI data can make us better and more precise in our decision making for what kind of play we play together, in what kind of situation and things like that. So it's a big plus for us to have it. And something else I can say about is AI and the development from when I started. We're doing everything by ourselves, and the system that comes before today when we use Sportlogic, a lot of them was from like people who put together the statistics. When we have AI, we have more precise data and not someone who have not different judgments from different people in the situation. And that's a very big thing with the AI.
Yeah, because when I'm tagging, you get my feeling of the game or my sensations that I feel during the game. We score, we didn't score. Oh, that was something. So you get all my feelings. It's in the tagging also. So I miss things.
Yeah, and what is a scoring chance? For me, it's something. For you, it's something else. And from Adam, he sees it in a different way.
And that's a really big challenge also I think with this kind of tagging, because you need to. It's not. You need to understand what the system is tagging. What is a shot, or what is win one face-off or lost face-off, whatever it is. Because when you understand what the system is tagging, then you can judge. So it's not even close to some of the things I'm tagging. We actually tag differently, but as long as I understand it, I will find my way to understand the numbers anyway. It will still give me the right, if you know what I mean. So that's. I think there are some pieces in the game that that you need to understand, and it takes a while before you find it. And I know from the beginning when we have these techniques, we spend hours and hours looking at things because we want to find, oh, there it is, here's something wrong, I found it. And then we asked Sportlogic, and they told us, oh, well, that's because this happened. Oh, okay. And then we start looking again. Oh, I'm looking for something, because there isn't that many errors. So that's fantastic. Okay, something that I think we still need guys to manually sit there to do the tagging on the game, as you mentioned with national teams, we use Starfish. And I think that's important for several reasons. Because the one thing is, if the techniques are not working, if there's a bad internet connection or whatever it is, you still, even though it will, even if you get the numbers and the pictures earlier, closer to live, you will still need to be secure that you have it if something goes wrong. And then you need to have your computer under the arm running down to the locker room between periods, I think. And I also think there's some other big thing for us in the club team, that we get different camera angles on the same situation. So it's up to me to just change camera angle to see, okay, it was like this, or it wasn't, and so that's on my wishing list. I think getting different camera angles that I can choose all by myself. What do you say about that, Almqvist?
Yeah, I agree. Would be great. I just want to fill in on the plus and minus there. As I said earlier, the AI, it don't take like the playbook in consideration. So that's why we need to still manually tag everything, because we have our playbook, and maybe we want some of the numbers in Sportlogic, for example, to be red or to be bad, because that's our playbook.
Yeah.
And I, as a video course or analytics, I need to understand that numbers and compare it to our playbook to see, and if the system in a couple of years can sort out the playbook, I don't know how, but that would be great too.
So what you mean is that you can get really low numbers on cross-sites dumpings, but the reason for it could be that you're actually not doing dumpings cross-sites.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to do that.
According to your playbook, it's a good number, maybe even.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Enjoy having your picture of where we are right now, and of course getting everyone to understand that how we use the tools, and that we're still in a mix, I think, of using different kind of platforms, and they all got a value, I think, for us, and we got the wishing list, and that's a good thing, because there's a lot of people that can make that come true listening to this, so that's good. So thank you, and we will go on. We'll take a short break, and we will have a Q&A in a couple of minutes. So looking forward to some interesting questions from all of you audience. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
National team, Swedish Federation, strong organization, and a lot of fun to talk about. Some difficulties though. So, gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adam, Almqvist, so I don't confuse this. The idea of having a lack of data and not being able to work with players, goalies, situations. What would happen if they were to take their data with them and be able to give it to you? Because what I'm understanding is that players can somehow find a way to use and take their data to different places.
I don't know if I understand the question right there.
If they took their last 10 or 15 games, as opposed to you trying to analyze just the national team games. So you talked about it's difficult because you may only see 3 games, and you don't work with them for a long period of time. You don't have the opportunity to, as Mikael said, on a day-to-day basis, to work with goalies and see things. What would happen if they were to come to you and say, these are the last 15 games, or and then load it into your system so you could use it and then discuss from the last game or the last 2 games compared to the last 15 games? Would that be something that's...
Yeah, it should be great for us. One problem is maybe that the agents would pick out the good numbers on every guy, so we had a hard time picking the right players. But
we can't be that negative. We got to figure that this has got to be a good solution to it.
Of course it is. I mean, for us right now, when we're starting using this system in the whole federation, I mean, we just started to set a baseline. So if we can take numbers from another league on the same players and pick it in, should be great for us. However, it's another playbook. But I mean, me and Mikael Vernblom, we did a pretty hard work during the Olympics there before, when we are scouting players, and we watched like Anton Lander in Zug and tried to figure out which kind of wingers he should have with the Swedish national. Like he was playing with players from Czech Republic or some other country, and we were trying to figure out what his wingers had. Help me here, Michael. But
I know, I understand that you're trying to figure out the right combination of the players to put together.
Yeah,
I totally understand.
So that could help us if we can get like all the data from different leagues into the same. Yeah, for sure.
I understand that this is an easy question or loaded question. The federation in general, can they do more to help you guys be able to do your jobs when you're working with the different national teams? Is there something that they could do? Is it creating access to data? Is it finding solutions to make your jobs easier?
Well, I think the biggest problem we have is that, especially on the younger kids we are traveling with, we are in like small cities with bad Wi-Fi, so that's a big problem for us using everything that's online. So I guess it's a question of money, if we can set up some better system or have everything offline.
So it's an infrastructure.
At the same time, there's been happening so many things, so many positive things with this and the national teams in the last 12 months. Just being able to use the platforms, to have the opportunity to start learning and to work with it, and getting the coaches to get used to it and so on. So it takes a while to get everything set, I think, both for us video coaches and analytics guys, but also for the coaches in the team. But there's been happening a lot of positive things, and of course the dream is to get everything in one platform, no matter if there is the home team playing or if they play in abroad somewhere or so on. To have everything in one platform, that would be fantastic, and hopefully we're getting there soon.
One of the things that, and I'll open this up to just anyone, one of the things that I think the Federation does the best is when we look at the three of you, and Mikael Vernblom, I'll keep you out of this a little bit, but you're young, you're on the move up, you're dreaming of being better and bigger, and yes, Mikael, you've been there, and you're, do you guys communicate with each other? Do you discuss this with each other? Do you take time? Do you have conferences, or when you're with the team, go just by yourselves and try to figure things out? Because a lot of this is very difficult to understand for one person. But when you communicate with someone else, you start to understand a little bit more. You pull in a third person, you understand a little bit more. And then do you guys communicate with each other? Do you sit down and talk about it? Matheus?
Yeah, we do. We had some meetings where we get together, the video coaches, and talk about challenges for us and how we work from team to team, because every team work in different ways, so we always learn something from each other. And and then we had the COVID situation that's make it a little bit tougher for us. But we still get together and talk. Me and Adam had a talk. Adam Almqvist, we had a talk earlier this day. So yeah, we communicate.
What do you guys
I
talk
think
about?
like
Go ahead, Adam.
yeah, just like head coach to head coach, they want to talk with other head coaches, and I mean we are video coaches, so we understand the work we're doing. So it's important for me to talk to every video coach I can, for sure.
No, Adam Albelin, I'll bring you in just in a second. The thing that I consider is that when we talk about it, if you follow the whole program, the ground of truth is not there. I mean, people trying to figure out what is a good pass and what is a good shot, and the analytics are getting better and better. But you guys are a part of the expert panel that should be the ones discussing this and trying to figure out, to understand the different pieces and the different pieces of data. So the more you can talk, the more we'll learn about analytics. And you're just a few, but you're young, you're excited, you're moving forward, and you're creating the future. So in my world, that's the Federation's role, to keep you guys together and let you talk and communicate and discuss and not understand and then understand and turn it all around again and start over again, because that's the process we're in right now. Adam, you were in Tampa Bay, and that's maybe a different world according to the Federation, but I assume there's a lot of communication in that organization as well, trying to figure things out.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was, on a daily basis, I feel like my boss, the statistical analyst, he was talking to Steve Eiserman, I think, every day, trying to figure out better ways to do things, more projects we can work on, whether it was analyzing, I can't go into detail, but all different types of projects and stuff. And having that communication is extremely important on a team level, where we can get better.
You don't want to tell us what the Tampa Bay does to put themselves in a good position?
No.
Is that it?
No. I'll leave that out.
Detroit now.
Yeah. Brisebois still there though.
Mikael, you have the seniority in this group at least, and don't you feel like that's the Federation's job to be create pools of experts to take this forward and finds ways for people to communicate in the nerdy groups?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are all hockey nerds. Your wives, your girlfriends, or your partners probably think you talk hockey, and even more hockey. That's who are together with. So I guess you've got to live with that.
Yeah, but that's true, and I also think that's the way it's been also since we started getting all this machine learned data coming in, and I think it's also a path in the beginning to get to know how things are working and to get the right hardware and to get all the things set before you can go deeper. And I think we're at that stage at the national team right now, or national teams, the Federation, that we're all set to go. And I'm not really involved in that part. I've been involved in introducing everything a little bit. And also remember that, I mean, looking at Matheus, if I look at you Matheus, last year, you worked with the junior 17 and 18 national teams at the same time, working with Södertälje and Djurgården in the same role. And of course, he gets lots of experience and stuff and learn things that he can bring to the table when we finally meet over tournament and so on after COVID. So yeah, that's the way it's been, and I think it's good. It's a good path.
The thing that I think, and again, the idea of trying to push things forward and trying to understand that a lot of the analysis and the analytics that we're looking at are still have to be filtered. And we've talked about this the entire last 2 days, the filters. And you guys can help create those filters from taking the analytics to the understanding of the players. Something you can certainly be better at in the future and learn to do it. But again, you guys have that opportunity. Does that see something that you guys are willing to does that fit into your time schedule? Do you have time to think about that? Do you have time to discuss that? Or you're running around in your own little world and don't have the time to communicate with somebody else? Nobody wants to answer?
I can go for it. Well, for me, most of the time we're at camp or at tournaments. I'm usually running around a lot by myself, and there's a lot of things to do with video for the coaches and whatnot. But as much time as I can try to fit in when it regarding analytics and what we can do, I try to do it to the best of my ability, and to have an open communication and dialogue with the coaches and see what exactly they need and what would help them make better decisions, play better, prepare better, just so we have some sort of plan, that we can execute.
Now you guys are
And
young.
I think.
Oh, go ahead, Mikael. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm thinking also that there will be a need, and it's probably already a need to get some kind of education on these things, because if we should get new analytics guys, young guys or girl, women coming into the younger national teams and so on, we have to pick them from SHL or Hockeyallsvenskan right now. If they have some experience, because otherwise they won't have it. In the younger age groups, you don't have the systems. So of course you need a way to learn and to educate yourself, and that will be a step, I think, for the federations in the long run to start to have those kind of summits.
What do you guys want? You all get one thing. In the analytical world? Is it more data? Is it more time to discuss it? Is it more Almqvist, what do you say? What you one thing in the data analytic world?
Always more time. Always more time. Yeah, I want to look at the numbers more. As the other Adam said earlier, it's a lot of video when we are during tournaments. A lot of coaches want to see everything, so we don't have a lot of time taking a look at the numbers. But this is our first year with the sport logic system, and I think it's next year we will be better and better, and I think we need to find a way to work smarter with the system, so that we can take it a step higher.
Matheus, Aldam has taken time, so you can't say that. What's the one thing that you'd like?
Okay, then I'm going with a system that we can use in both practice and games, so we can compare the numbers between games and practice. So if we see we need to create more scoring chances against on the rush from the slot area, for example, then we can see it and analyze it from the training as well. Right now we don't have the data from training. I think that would be something to have in the future.
A couple of people have talked about that with the practicing and being able to do that, but that's a great idea. And if anybody's watching from the companies that produce the analytics, they should be listening to you about that, because that's a great one. Adam Albelin, what do you want? Now you can't have time and you can't have practicing and games. What do you want?
I'll have to go with some sort of centralized system, so we have access to more games and more information instantly. That's what I would like to see, because I feel right now the challenge is some games, for example, Sport Logic won't have, and it might be interesting to see and to have it, and I think that would make it easier for us to work if we can get more games in some sort of centralized system that we could pick out.
Excellent. Mikael Vernblom, you get the last choice. What do you want?
Yeah, I'm pretty close to what Albelin was saying, but I'm wishing for more leagues to be able to use these techniques, because right now it's still just the top leagues in Sweden, that if we talk Sweden, that have the possibility to use it. So I would like to see it in women's hockey. I want to see it in in all sorts of even junior hockey and so on. So we had the possibility to work with that system and also get more people, more coaches to get used to using it, because when we all need. One of the biggest things for me in Linköping has been those last couple of years when everything happened with all this machine learned techniques, that the coaches quite fast start to learn by working themselves. So my work changed a lot. Instead of going to me to ask for something, they find the things themselves, and they're really, really good at it. And I think that's a huge step to take for a national team or whatever, every team. So yeah, that's what I wish for. More people to be able to use it.
Time's running out. My last question, and we can discuss it. Anyone can jump on it. Is there a difference when you're dealing with analytics with U16 team, U17, and the men? Do you guys see it? You work for a little different teams. You've been to different age groups. Do you see any difference? And maybe not in the player himself, but are the analytics different? Is it a slower game? I mean, obviously it's slower for the younger players, or do you see anything that's different between the ages?
Nothing that sticks out. I mean, as I said earlier, we just had like set the baseline here for 1 year, but nothing sticks out like too much. We can say we have pretty much the same playbook from 16 to the senior team, so it shouldn't stick out too much. If it did, I would be more worried, actually.
Anyone want the last word? Gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Thank you for the presentation and now the question and answering. We certainly appreciate it. Mikael Vernblom, can you stay for a second? Mikael Vernblom, can you stay for a second?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Mikael, are you there with me?
Yep.
You're one of the co-founders, and we're moving towards the end. We still have an interview with Dawn Tangnes.
Yes.
But give me your little feel for the LINHAC 2022. How do you feel about it?
I feel, well, we're not there yet, but so far, I'm really happy about it. I think people's been really got involved and being curious, and you can feel how it starts. People start to talk to each other. You text each other after panel debates, and there's a lot of communication going on behind the scene here with people. So that's involved. So yeah, I love it, and I think it's so important to get all these different ideas and views and share some knowledge. So yeah, and that's also something you asked me if it's something that I wish for. Well, more lean hacks, not only in Linköping, all over the world. That will be great.
Sure. We still have an interview with Dawn Tangnes, so we're not finished yet. But I just wanted we'll be talking to Patrick and to Nicholas, your colleagues, after the meeting with Dawn. But great work, BK.
Thank you.